Self-reflection, self-introspection, mindful thinking for things to achieve in our life, like perhaps natural weight loss, the power of the subconscious, the Christ mind, as A Course in Miracles puts it, yoga therapy. Consider at the time, 2,000 years ago, only an instant ago in the dream of life, the dream of separation, Jesus was aware of the role of self-reflection. As the whole child of God, he recognized that his function and purpose was to lead the way in training the mind for power of the subconscious to be present where self-introspection may occur. This type of mindful thinking has been around since time began and is important for you to grasp for things that you want to achieve in life, like natural weight loss, perhaps. Hello, everyone. This is James Nussbaumer, and I'm the author of a great series of books that begins with The Master of Everything. It's a story of mankind in the world of illusion that we call life, and it's published by Ozark Mountain Publishing Company. On sale everywhere books are sold, and I write from the principles contained in A Course in Miracles, a metaphysical approach to a better life. A Course in Miracles is very deep, and it's fun because it's real. And you actually read without thinking. You're reading with the subconscious mind. And the whole intent is to help us have a better life, to achieve our goals, whatever that may be, even if it's natural weight loss. Committing to anything, including natural weight loss, is essential so that you may see the results that you're after. You must truly stay committed with continuity of self-reflection and self-introspection so that what you want to achieve will manifest in your life. Am I saying that the things we set out to accomplish, like natural weight loss, perhaps through our own divine spirit? Of course, absolutely I am. What else could natural mean other than the divine self? Think of when Jesus said, "I am with you always." He meant it literally. He was aware of the Christ mind in himself and in everyone. It's the power of the subconscious. But more and more people everywhere are learning each day of this capability through things like yoga therapy and meditation, or self-introspection and self-reflection may lead your daily life to success and happiness, bliss, inner peace, and freedom. This is why I urge you not to discount, as an example of this, that particular yoga therapy practice, perhaps, that brought you tremendous peace and bliss when you needed it the most. It brought out the power in your subconscious, or the kind set of words that perhaps your yoga leader helped you with through a tough day in your yoga natural weight loss formula. These are all things that happen through the power of the subconscious, or we could call the Christ mind, or the responsibility that I always think of the responsibility that my good friend my good friend Ronnie took upon himself to introduce me to the light of yoga therapy to get me through my own dark times. It's not only yoga therapy I mean here, but I'm using that as an example because yoga is an excellent example. But experiences of wholeness of mind reflected and serving a purpose, whether in yoga, natural weight loss, or the more serious matters, it's all in self-introspection. And I believe yoga helps us do that. And more importantly, what led me to yoga is my studies for years and years of A Course in Miracles, a metaphysical approach to understanding life and eternity and all that there is. Mindful thinking, let's consider mindful thinking in the man Jesus, an image in the dream of life that we project from our own guilt of lacking, was able to manifest the Holy Spirit of God by his awareness of it, his leadership, the leadership of Jesus, and his image and behavior as a model for truth is what manifests the Holy Spirit in each of us today. Just like 2,000 years ago, though, some of us are aware of this and some others are not. He spoke of this through his parables in the best way that he could for the people of those times and those days, to spark the interest of those during a time when things weren't as clearly understood as they are today, where people didn't know the meaning of reaching in and going deep. And so Jesus was careful on how to approach this. Self-introspection and losing weight with yoga, just as an example, is through the Christ mind that sits where your inner power sits, waiting for you to use through your body for things like natural weight loss. Perhaps it's even something like perfecting a golf swing, anything that makes your life happy that you're out to accomplish. And that's why yoga therapy can be a great method for shifting forward this power. You must look at the psychology in maintaining peace of mind rather than the body's participation, because we can call the power of the subconscious mind behind the psychology Christ, if you will. Christ is not a body, never absent, and is within us always, because the bliss of Christ is who we are. This is what Jesus wanted to teach us. Anything else is of the ego mind, a false idea of who we only think we are, that projects a body to hide from our own guilt. Our guilt of what, you may ask? Our guilt for thinking and believing that we're separate from God, our Creator. Self-reflection is why I like A Course in Miracles, because it really brings to the surface what's deep to your core. It brings to the surface through the cloud cover of the ego mind. And I like what A Course in Miracles states here when it says that all that can exist is either of truth or falsehood, unreal or real, the Christ mind or ego mind, and nothing is in between, which A Course in Miracles calls a middle ground. There is no middle ground. It's one or the other. You either live in light or you live in darkness. Because the Christ mind is the light within us, the Christ mind is always who we are in reality. And this is what Jesus wanted us to know. He wanted us to know that's why he said, we are the way, the truth, and the life. So ask, how do you reflect yourself? Again, whether your goal for now is natural weight loss or whatever it might be, remember, we did not make this power of the subconscious from our ego mind any more than Jesus did. The subconscious was created. It's who we are. It was created to be shared and does not, nor ever has or ever will, belong to any particular individual alone, or any particular group or religion or psychological community. It's ours to be shared. There's no copyright on the subconscious mind. Power of the subconscious, the Christ, it belongs where he is, and that place is within you. Once again, I must remind you that I am speaking of Christ reflected within your body is where your goals are accomplished. Christ not as a body, but reflected within your body is where your goals are accomplished in this world. Gaining Christ mind control over how your body functions is extended by the Holy Spirit, available for our tapping into at any given time that we want. This is how we manifest miracles in our life, by coming through the cloud cover of the ego-based mind, coming through the falsehood and reaching truth. Remember, as I said a few minutes ago, it's either truth or falsehood. There is no middle ground. The meaning behind the word Christ waits in heaven for us, or we can say within us, because that's where heaven really is. It's within us, not somewhere located out there. And once you have experienced it, you will know that it does not hang around waiting in time for some special event in the future to free us. It is the shared inspiration, the one thought of the one mind of creation, and we may reflect this into the world through our body while we dream of life. Here's to the power in self-reflection to you. And if you have enjoyed this thought-provoking video, please click the subscribe button here at this YouTube channel. And If you'd like to subscribe to my Everyday Miracles Mastermind newsletter, the link to that subscription info is in the description box down below in this YouTube video. And if you're already at my blog or at my website, you'll see plenty of opportunity to click and join the Everyday Miracles Mastermind newsletter. And if you're at YouTube and you want to read about this video, because a lot of times when we read something, it sinks in a little better, I'll have the link as well in the description box of this YouTube video to this particular blog. Once again, in this newsletter is where it's a mastermind where you, the reader, and I, the author, bring our mind together for self-success and a better world. And now I hope that you decide to live in this world by self-reflection, kind of like with yoga therapy and perhaps things like natural weight loss, achieving your goals, what it is you want to achieve through the power of the subconscious mind, the Christ mind. And I also hope that you're thinking a lot about your own natural gifts that I always like to add and extending those gifts to the world. The world wants to see you. The world wants to see who you are. Thanks for listening to me. And I hope maybe that we'll run into each other at a future event somewhere up the road. Thank you, and God bless again.